Alrighty, so last time, some crazy shit went down.
Fuck yeah.
And the shit hit the fan, and you guys wrecked shop with the help of your green friend and other friends.
That feeling when you run into your ex-wife.
Cyrus in there like, you're not my friend, buddy.
You're not my buddy, guy. But yeah, the dragon Winterpiss was slain, and the curse lifted from your boy.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Stab me?
Gunther stabs him.
Just like
Gets shanked by a dude wearing a mask and a weird hat.
He like goes to the afterlife and it's just like, oh, how'd you die? It's like, I don't know, like some weird guy in a weird hat stabbed me.
After I got beat up by my ex-wife.
Oh my god.
Adding insults to injury.
So I think at this point, we're back at the castle and we've just shown Clovis the dead thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We literally took it out and I was like, hey, we should like taxidermy this shit and like have it outside your castle.
And he was just
saying.
like, fuck
yes.
yeah.
I never get to have cool things. Yes.
He was like, thank you.
I have a feeling that there's nothing else that's going to fit in my bag until we get the dragon out.
Yeah.
For now, at
I'm going to
least.
say yes, because, like, that's an ancient dragon.
We better not run into a big mountain of gold because Gunther cannot take it this time around.
Someone else is going to have to carry that shit.
Speaking of, I think we should have this taxidermied in Vaskyr.
Well,
because...
no, Gariel wanted to do it. Yeah. Gariel,
Well, okay.
But...
The problem is, how are we going to get it back to Vaskyr?
Oh, you're right.
No!
The bag,
What?
right?
Yeah, the bag.
But
Like, it's, it's in the bag. Yeah,
Well-
it's in the bag right now.
yeah, but it's also probably a little bit more flexible now
Malleable,
than it would be
yeah.
if it was
That is
taxidermy.
true. But
Mhm. But we could take
bag-
out the bag and fit it in there.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But, like, the bag, like, widens to, like, fit the whatever it's consuming, I
I
guess.
was also going to say that, I mean, Clovis has, like, ships. So in any case...
Yeah, true.
Just a big dragon
Just
standing
go-
on a ship.
Yeah, no one's going to attack that ship. They're going to give it a real wide berth.
Like, oh shit! I just like, because I know we promised
keeping up
Gariel.
on-
She was all like, hey, if you have any really cool shit to bring, like, bring it over.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I want to bring her this ancient dragon. Like, I have been dreaming of this. I need this in my life.
I just imagine somebody seeing that ship and being like, I don't know if that dragon's alive or not, but I don't want to get closer to find out.
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
They're just like pirates creeping up on this ship, and they see a dragon, and
Oh,
they
hell
creep
no.
the fuck away from that ship.
Just moonwalk the fuck out of
And
there.
he's like, absolutely not.
But yeah, in any case, we'll just ask him to, like, send over a ship to, like, send the thing back to him, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
wonder-
like, I'm not trying to like disagree, but I just really wanted Gariel to work on it and see the look on her face. Like, just be like, hey, hey, Gariel, guess what?
We have the
Look at this.
project of... No, just think about it. Like, we have the project of your life, and it's for
Yeah,
the king.
no, that is literally like when I was like mentioning that, I was like, oh my god, she is literally gonna be our best friend for like ever.
Like last time we brought her a dragon head and she looked really stoked as fuck. Now she's gonna
Yeah,
like...
I'm actually bringing a full fucking dragon. I need this in my life.
What I wonder is how many
Lace
people are
just
going to
trying
be
make
needed for
friends with all the
this.
half-orcs, really.
I really am. I just want to like befriend all the half orcs, and then I want to get a half orc boyfriend. I just want all the half orcs. I'm gonna make a half orc harem.
Anyway, so we're at the castle, and we've just put that dragon away again.
The
and promised
motherfucker
Clovis
back in the
that
bag.
We're gonna do that for him. I'm really curious. Like, Simone is there, I assume, because everyone just kind of went back.
Yeah.
How does he feel about the fact that we're doing this? Like, can I get a read on it?
Roll an insight check.
What is this for?
To know how he feels about the dragon, we're gonna get taxidermied.
Wrong side.
I mean,
Still a 23.
I mean, like, I would roll, but I think everyone pretty much has got a hand on it.
Because we brought him like trophies before, and he's like, hell no, that's hideous. Get it away.
And this time he's like, oh hell yeah.
No, yeah, he's all about this one. 100%.
Like, oh fuck
He's
yeah.
all the fuck about it.
What I'm
That's
wondering
a
the
trophy
most.
and a half that he's all about. Because of like not only just like how awesome it is to have like an ancient white dragon, just like look what we killed, but also like for personal reasons, he's like taxidermy this bitch and let me look at it every day and like remind me that we slew this bitch.
Like fucking like Clovis just goes all like frickin' New Jersey and pisses on it every day.
His morning ritual.
Takes a
like
piss
every
at Winter
day, 5
Pierce.
a.m. He just pisses on it.
From the
Like,
like
fuck you.
upstairs balcony, just like
Diana's like, I'm so proud of you.
What I'm wondering the most is how many people are going to be needed to work on that thing.
Probably fear.
probably a
A
few.
lot, but Gariel is gonna be very happy.
Yes, this is true.
I'm very excited to present this.
Yeah. So, Clovis says, well, we had probably best go and gather all the civilians that were living here so they can come back and keep living here. We should go to them.
Just kidding.
Captain,
False
but
alarm,
while
drill
we're
over.
there-
Everyone turn around.
Yeah, but while we're there, we should, take some time to be there.
Definitely. We should have some time to relax.
You know what? I think he deserves a holiday.
Yeah, he really does.
So I guess probably need to patch everyone up though.
Are we able to take like a long rest before we go on this trip? Because like,
Absolutely.
yeah, we just. Okay, thank God. 'Cause I was like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice, like, taking a long trip to the monastery, but, like, you're just fucking beat to shit, and you're just like, you, like, pass the fuck out in the hot
Diana's just like,
springs.
I mean, look, we had to carry Gunther back, so maybe we take a little rest.
It only took
Like,
one person to
actually-
carry me.
To carry him.
Is
A
Gunther
big-
complaining about it, though?
Huh?
Is Gunther complaining about it, though?
No, not at all.
We did it. We found his waifu, guys. It only
You want-
took a whole year in the campaign to find his waifu.
We did.
You won't hear him complaining.
So, you guys take the rest of the evening to rest here.
I am gonna pray to my god and switch out a few spells.
Alrighty.
Also, I ask Maylil if I did everything like he asked, if I did everything properly, because I'm like, I hope that helped.
He gives you a holy thumbs up.
Yeah! Can I give him a holy finger guns back?
Yeah. You give him some holy finger guns.
Yeah!
They're just normal finger guns, but there's little halos above the thumbs.
I'll change my spell stuff in a second. But
Alrighty.
yeah. There's one I am switching back, but I will figure out what I want to switch out when I am.
Yeah, that's cool. You in charge of that.
Yeah, you're in charge of that. You know what you're doing.
I
Yeah.
have to look at my thingy.
You guys take the rest of the day and as much of the evening as you like to rest, eat, drink, take your long rest to relax and recover. Is there anything you guys would like to do during this time.
There is
Oh,
kind of.
what? Kind. Yes,
Kind of.
no, maybe.
It depends on if everyone's at the same spot or not.
We're all together, I'm pretty sure. We're all hanging out castle, right?
Yep, you're all at the castle.
Okay.
I'm just assuming that like when I'm doing my thingy, it's at night when everything is done. So don't worry, I didn't like just run off.
No,
Yeah.
I kind of figured. All right. So, Jeffrey's gonna approach a party, and he's gonna say to everyone, "I have something to tell you all, actually, and I just wanted to tell you I'm sorry for having been a little difficult during the last battle at some point, and also I wanted to say that I'm actually grateful for you all pushing me into it.
Oh.
And see, I was having a hard time getting close to enemies that were much stronger than us, and I think that that's about to change.
Yay.
Diana does a little clap.
Faye joins in. Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations!
He also
Congratulations!
he also says that well, I also would like to thank you in other ways. If there's anything you want me to do that could be helpful, I'd like to help if anything. And yeah, so thank you, Faye, for keeping me alive with those healing spells. And if it wasn't for your healing, I think I would have died also back in the tomb. So
I mean, yeah, that one was very
that's
close.
Yeah, that one was pretty serious. I mean, yeah, you're annoying, but you know, I don't want you dead. I mean, you're kind of like an annoying little brother to me. So,
and also, I'm glad I gave you those
Okay.
arrows. You're making good use of them.
I mean, I'm out.
That's fine. I can make more.
Hand him over.
And Diana, thank you for getting your weapon. If it wasn't for this, actually, I don't think I would have been able to be much help during the last fight. And also, thanks for yelling at me back then. About telling me to get
I
in
think
close,
that
because
you needed it. And she
yeah.
does finger guns at you.
he finger guns back. And then he also says to Lysara, and, well, thank you for being reliable. Sometimes I still can't figure out what you're thinking, but I know you're a good person. And I'm glad you're there with us, because, well, yeah, you're, like I said, you're reliable. You're trustworthy, I'd say. Except for the time that
It's
you
so
cheated
funny
cards.
that's what he says to
Still
us.
salty about that. Like, you're
You're,
trustworthy.
you're reliable and
That's nice.
trustworthy, except for that one time that you cheated at cards and beat me. I'll remember it forever.
I'll remember
never
it for the
forget
rest of my
I've written
life.
it down in my dream journal for future reflection.
Lazara says, if your goal is to get laid with Kelos, you're gonna have to try a little harder than that.
Well, you did. Well, the thing is, like, you didn't know that. Yeah, Gunther didn't show any emotions towards Kalas yet.
Oh,
He just
Lazara doesn't. Lazara doesn't think.
Yeah, Kalas was blushing, but Gunther wasn't showing any emotions.
I mean, you can't tell he's got a
you
mask.
think Gunther has to show emotions for Lazara to tease him about that?
No, but like, it's just
But like,
it's not been established yet.
It's funny because if he did, which he might have not, you don't know, is that he's got a mask, so and it's red. It's a mask.
My
It's
face
a red
was red
mask.
because he was cold.
But yeah, to that, Jeffrey doesn't really know what to say because that's no, that's not my plans.
That is not my intention at all. Oh.
Yet.
Turns around and sweats. She's standing right behind him. It's not, I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine. It's not. Oh.
Lazara just kind of smirks and pats him on the back and says, "Good luck, Noodle Boy."
Thanks. It's like a puzzled thanks.
like, oh wait! I have the perfect reaction image. Keep going.
But yeah, that's thank you all. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Well, thanks for listening.
No problem.
So, was there anything else that you guys wanted to do while you're here in your downtime?
What's everyone doing?
That's yes, that.
I mean, everyone else that's there besides us.
Oh yeah. If anyone has anything they want to do, they can go first. I can just go afterwards.
Oh, you mean the
I'm
other
just
NPCs,
meditating.
Chris. Okay. So, the Rangers Guild peoples, that would be Hurogar and Marlish. They have moved forward. They've gone through the tunnel to
Okay.
go catch up with everyone and just let them know ahead of time that everything's okay. And Clovis and Griselda are still here at the castle, as is Simon and Kalas.
Where's Tuazar gone?
Tuazar went ahead along with the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She had to find her man.
Yeah.
She has to go find her boo and talk
Yeah.
to him about all the cool stuff she did
Do we
today.
kill the dragon? It's crazy. All the other townsfolk like what?
I thought it was a drill.
Yeah.
Whoops.
It was a very well calculated drill.
Tuazar just gets back and she's like, so I may have told everyone that a dragon attacked the town.
I
Just
told them
saying.
very vigorously, and I told everyone individually as well.
God damn it, Tuazar.
Fuck.
Brag to everybody. You killed a dragon. It's crazy.
I'm gonna go talk to Dragon Dad and say to him, "So how you doing, big guy?"
He kind of rolls his right shoulder back a few times. He's like, "Well, I might have pulled something while we were fighting, but apart from that, pretty good.
Yeah.
Still standing."
She's asking not just about like the fight, but just about everything that's been going
Oh, I
on.
know. That was his response.
She says, King Sebastian said to tell you. And she just rattles the exact same thing Sebastian said to her about Clovis. I don't remember the exact words, but Diana...
Toughen the boy up.
But Diana would.
And he kind of looks past Diana up to where the throne is, and Clovis sitting there on the throne, having a yeah, just chatting on the fucking.
He's playing Candy Crush.
Yeah.
He's
like halfway through a streak on like Love Live or some shit.
Can't believe
Pokemon Go, but all the Pokemon are just
You
normal
ruined my
creatures.
full combo.
Did he catch his harass yet?
Fuck.
Not yet. He's not high enough level. But he is just having a private conversation with Griselda, just chatting about things, and organizing, like, bringing everyone back, but saying like, "Hey, let's go down there and just take a day or two," you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dragon dad looks up at the throne where the prince is sitting, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure we can figure something out.
He's like, yes.
Shouldn't be too hard. I'm already working on Timbertail. I can work on the prince the same way.
And Diana explains to him that, he's actually not half bad wielding a sword.
Good, we have a starting point.
And
She's already a step ahead of Timbertail.
She tells him the whole story about what went down with from beginning to end.
Right. The whole sword fight.
Yeah.
You see, like, as you start to explain the story, like, hey, something happened between, like, Clovis and Pip. He's like, oh, what the fuck? And then, like, you continue explaining and get further into, like, the sword fight and stuff, and you just see this grin grow across his face. And he says, well, I've seen Pip take down a couple of criminals in the city, and he's a fairly decent sword fighter, so if that's a state that the boy's in now, then that'll be fine. I'll help toughen him up a bit. Throw him around the yard a few times.
Be nice.
No promises.
Oof. Yeah, so that's what Diana's doing. You guys doing anything?
What's everyone else doing?
I believe Faye was doing her meditating. Oh, I know. I'll let everyone go first because I'm just gonna read my book. So I'm on my second volume. Like, it's gonna take a lot more than someone yelling out, "Is that porn?" for her to stop reading.
I'm too deep in now.
I'm too emotionally attached to these characters. Judge me all you want.
It stopped her for like a few hours, but it's fine. She's okay.
But she was like, but what happens next?
Yeah, what happens next? What happens in the second volume?
All right, so, what is Lazara doing? Anything in particular?
I imagine at this point she's just laying in bed, staring up at the ceiling.
Fair enough.
Like, holy shit.
Amazing.
Lazara's just thinking, fuck, I need to get laid now.
I just imagine Lazara just like laying in a room and like 2 hours go by. She's just staring at the ceiling and then very quietly she's just like, fuck.
So what's Gunther doing then?
Yeah. So Jeffrey is going to approach Kalas. And he's going to thank her. He's going to say, thank you for hearing me all the way here. It was very nice of you.
She smiles and nods respectfully. He says, well, it was the least I could do.
Well, thank you again. And also, I was wondering, are you going to Monastery as well?
She turns around and like looks around at the mostly empty castle and out toward the door that leads out to the pretty empty city, and she's like, yeah, I don't really see any point in hanging around here at the moment.
Oh, well,
like,
that's
pretty nice.
Well, that's good to know. The more the merrier.
Good, the real seduction.
And
But yes, I'm going to be surrounded by more naked girls.
he's like, oh, but this one's different. I want to see her naked.
He's not thinking that, at least not right now.
Yet.
No, right now would be very awkward.
But yeah, no, but yeah, he says that, and well, I'll see you tomorrow then. I have to rest. I'm actually really exhausted.
She was right next to you. She saw you get beat up to shit. I'm sure she knows.
Yeah, she's fully aware. She once again bows her head respectfully and allows you to head to your quarters to have a nap.
Yeah, Jeffrey's gonna do that. He also
just going to tire himself to sleep again.
No, but this time
What?
Different.
she asked if he cries himself to sleep. No, he's not doing that this time.
I like how you say this time, like you implying that it's going to happen again.
I mean, it's not beyond him.
He's done it before. No reason he wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, like next time I'll probably just roll for tears.
Roll for tears.
He's too exhausted to cry himself to sleep right now.
It's like when you're really tired and you try to cry, but like nothing comes out, and you're like,
You're basically just yelling in a pillow.
Big mood.
Yeah.
Big mood. So, what was Faye doing?
I'm reading my book. What's my book about this time?
So this one is slightly less about the whole wandering, trading, and economics and all that kind of stuff that it was, forming friendships and all that kind of stuff. It's now like an ex-boyfriend has come into play and...
Oh, shit.
There's a bit of like love triangle drama going on.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and the ex-boyfriend doesn't like the new love interest from the last book, and there's a lot of tension going on.
I imagine
Nice to
face like.
What are the?
What a scandal.
Like what's like a brief description of like the love interest and like the ex-boyfriend?
So the love interest was I believe a half-orc guy in the first book.
We never established what the love interest was in this book, so I just assumed it was like, it's just probably like a person. I'm like, oh, bruh.
Oh, I thought I mentioned ages ago. No, it's a half-orc. And that's why Turzar was like quite interested in the book in the first place.
And this is why Faye is quite interested in the book.
Yeah, in the second book, there's like the ex-boyfriend is like a tiefling who back then, when they were quite young, he was like a childhood friend kind of thing, and he was like a little studious type, but a bit of a rapscallion. And now he's turned into like, as the years went by and he's grown into an adult, he's become a bit of a brawler, and he's this big, tough tiefling. And he doesn't like the half-orc, and the half-orc doesn't like him. They're very clashing personalities, but you can see why the main character was interested in either one at different times.
Bruh.
Yeah. A lot of that.
Face just like, oh.
Goodness gracious.
Like, oh. Just sweating like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
This is too saucy for me.
Like, oh, fuck.
Then you have the blurb at the bottom in tiny writing from Eris, like based on true events. Like, no, but yeah.
Nice.
That.
Very
How far
loosely
do I
based
get
on the
into-
true story.
Yeah,
Like,
very loosely.
how far do I get into my book?
You get a few good chapters in, maybe a fifth of the way through the book.
Nice. I imagine she's not like blowing through it because we just fought a dragon today. She probably was like,
Yeah, just taking a casual session to read and relax and unwind.
I'm curious, by the way. What does it seem like Clovis and Grisella were talking about?
So it seemed as though they were talking about, we should tell everyone that, drill's over, we can all head home, but we should go there and spend, a day or two just at the place, it could be good, So then they both agreed to that. They both know that they deserve time off.
Even Grisella.
Even Grisella. They're leaving.
Oh no, we get to see her naked. Diana's like, no.
Just a small raisin with arms and legs. A small grumpy raisin.
Oh my god. Diana just shudders. She's all like, yeah, I'm going to the monastery. And Diana's like, oh no.
Oh dear.
I found something horrifying.
The idea is that they're leaving the skeleton crew of guards here, and
no.
They're leaving the skeleton crew of guards to keep watch over the city. They still have them armed at the ballista, and they also have the big shield still over the city. So they're pretty confident in keeping it fairly safe.
The whole city went on holiday.
Yeah, the whole city went on holiday.
Except a couple of guards.
When your king sends you all to Disneyland.
Actual.
I wonder if these guys are going to get a vacation after everyone returns.
I mean, they really were just like, we need to do a drill and get everyone out of the city. And it's like, but we're going with the drillers taking us to the monastery. They're like, So everyone was all about it. Hey, let's go to this nice beach-like climate with a nice tropical feel and a spa and monks putting on shows. Let's do it.
That was the first thing Clovis did as king. Everyone's probably like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about this.
Yeah.
This kid not so bad.
That's good publicity.
They all knew that he was going to be pretty...
All hail King Clovis.
Yeah.
Shit.
But yeah, so...
Yeah, I guess we all go have a rest before we go because we're pretty beat up.
Everyone needs a nappy nap.
Yeah.
We're all
so
health.
everybody recovers their lost health and their spell slots, all that jazz.
Hey.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do with the long rest?
Jeffrey just fucking sleeps through it.
16 hours.
Honestly,
Jesus.
That would be fair.
Yeah. Wouldn't blame him.
I guess after Diana's rested, she's gonna take some time to hang out with Clovis and just tell him about everything that happened during that fight. In incredible detail, because she's pretty hyped that went the way it did.
Oh, and he's very interested to hear all the incredible detail. Of how
he's like, no. Can you just skip to the part where you kill him?
Yeah. Please tell me more about how you killed him.
I threw a fireball at it, and then Lysara threw a fireball at it, and then I got my sword. She's just going,
She's going through the motions physically as well, putting on a show of it.
She always does that
in the room. Yeah, and he's enthralled. He's all about it. So you guys do that for a good few hours, and it really you can see he's having a good day. This is all lifted his spirits quite significantly. It might be because the feeling of that pit inside of him is gone, the curse, and also with the recent events, having such good news in such a way and everyone being so positive is very helpful for him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole thing got lifted off of him in one in a few hours.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking.
He's probably going to need a bit of processing time after this.
Yeah,
but for now, things are good, and let's keep it that way.
He's doing better. That's
yeah.
Cool.
So, you guys spend the night doing your activities. And the following morning, after a good breakfast served up by a couple of guards, Clovis and Griselda, all working in the kitchen together.
That's adorable.
Well, I mean, there's not really anyone else here. They work together to put out like a big feed, and everyone sits down to eat inside the castle walls. You have, well, the guards are still out on patrol, but the ones that are here, the ones that help cook, Griselda, Clovis, and all of you guys, Kalas, Simon, everyone sits down to have a nice meal together. Nice.
Where's Gunther sitting?
Breakfast. Gunther's sitting right next to Kalas, of course. And on the other side of it is Lazara.
Please protect me, you big beautiful woman.
So, how do you feel about carrying me to the monastery?
Jeffrey has legs.
Yeah, I was going to say she would heavily suggest that you seek medical attention, as you seem to be crippled and unable to walk.
She's such a pure soul, and I love her.
But yeah, Jeffrey is probably recovered from last night, from the last day, so he'd be able to walk, I'm sure.
So, you guys get your things together after the meal, and I suppose set upon the tunnel.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
And you guys aren't in any rush to get there. So you take a couple days. You have spots to rest, like in between, like a little. There's like a rest spot.
What's like the tunnel? What are the tunnels like?
So they're lit by torches, like sconces on the way on either wall, like every 50 feet or so. So it's decently well lit. And odds are that was because of the guards and the Star Shadow. Yeah, they went through and lit all the torches and helped everyone through. A few of them have gone out in the last day or two, but most of them are still there. There's not really any wind down here.
It's okay. Most of us can see the dark anyway.
Yeah, you guys are fine. It's your boy Clovis that can't.
He just blinked to Diana like, I can't see.
And Kalas as well.
Simone also can.
Simon also can't see in the dark. He likes to think.
He likes to think he can.
You guys.
We've all witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah, in the guild when he thought he was real sneaky.
Like, buddy.
Yeah. So you make your way through the tunnel. Take a little rest at the interval point.
I like to imagine that whole time, like there's points where like maybe areas that aren't like quite as well. You see like the reflection in the eyes of all the people with dark visions. Like, oh shit.
Real creepy shit.
I love it.
Like, just Clovis was like, hey Diana, she like turns around, her eyes are glowing, he's like, oh shit.
He just kind of goes, ah! And then that kind of like echoes through the tunnel, like, ah, ah, ah. But yeah, you guys eventually make it to the other end after a day or two of traveling on foot. And once you arrive just sort of slightly north of the monastery. As you come out of the tunnel and up the stairs and up into the bright light of the sun, it takes a minute for your eyes to adjust, but once they do, they do, you feel like that pain in your eyes from like the bright light. But once it adjusts, you can see the monastery like a good 100 feet away. It's like right there. So you guys make your way around the beachside and toward the entrance. You can hear like a lot of activity coming from inside. Whereas like last time you were here and the time before, you heard like mostly silence.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be full of people. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's full of like city folk that are all rather rambunctious and loud. And you guys make your way around to the entrance on the beach side. Let me open up a pretty picture.
Nice.
so you guys know.
Hey.
It's nice.
Hooray!
So you come around like the beach side, enter through the main gates, make your way up those stairs. You're greeted by both Vaskyr city folk and the monks as well. And the Vaskyrian people seem to be getting along quite well with the monks. Like they seem to have like a long lasting relationship with them. Like they visit every good few years.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
And they kind of sit around in groups chatting and talking about various things. Like it seems from most of the conversation you hear as you go by, your passive perceptions, you pick up that most of them are discussing like world events and all that kind of stuff and updating the monks on what's going on in the world so that they, know. Because they're pretty secluded and cut off from everything here. They're just kind of trained in their ways and their knowledge. And as you guys are making your way through with the prince in tow, or the king, everybody is respectfully bowing their heads and giving applause and, just happy to see him. A couple of people ask, like, do we have to pack up and go back? And Clovis just kind of like shakes his head and waves his hand. And they're just kind of like, yes!
Best king ever!
And you guys make your way up through the complex, up to like the main stage there, where the fire pit is. And there are a couple of monks sparring, and everyone's standing around and cheering. And you can hear that this is where most of the sound is coming from, the uproar that everyone's making to watch this fight going on. And you can tell this is just a normal sparring match for them, but everyone's like, whoa, they're fighting over fire, that's metal. I will also get a perception check from everybody.
Hey,
All right.
Perception.
There it is.
Okay.
yeah.
Jesus.
So, Gunther, you're looking around the crowd and making sure that there's no funny business going on. There's no, in a big crowd like this, that's the first thing you look for instinctively is pickpockets. Steal from folks.
He's like, I know that's what I would do, so.
If I was conducting illegal business, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
He just like pulls out a dagger. He's like pointing at everyone, like, you all stay the fuck away from me.
Experience has taught you that such a distraction, such an event going on, like a fight or a show, is like perfect for pickpockets. But looking around, you can see that everyone's kind of doing their thing. Everyone's quite well behaved. The rest of you notice that behind you, over that wooden bridge, back in like the sand garden or the stone garden, there are a couple of monks there that are trying to meditate peacefully, and they're looking up rather lividly at the like, you can see them like making peace and being calm and crossing their legs and relaxing on the stones, or like raking the rakes through the sand and causing the swirly patterns and being at peace. And then you hear people like, "Rah!" And then it just kind of like breaks and jumps them out of their thing, and they just kind of sigh, and they're just trying to deal with that.
Oh my god.
You can tell also that there are like a lot of monks that are quite happy to have everyone here, and they're happy with the energy and the positive mood that everyone's in and the upbeat sort of energy everyone brings with them. But there are some that are like, please, I'm trying to achieve inner peace. Yeah, like Shifu.
Oh my god.
Inner peace. Then a goose comes crashing through the ceiling. Yeah, just like that.
They should be used to it, considering Indigo's living here.
Yes. That is one other point I would like to make, is that the people that are fighting, you see Indigo and another monk, a human monk. They're fighting and trading blows, and despite the fact that the human monk seems to have like a lot of power in his strikes, Indigo is a lot faster than him. And you notice that now it appears that she's carrying a bit more power in her blows as well. Like, she's a considerable bit tougher than she was last time. Like, she was in shape last time, but a lot of her muscles are now more toned. Like, she's more slim designed.
This is at the fire pit?
Yeah.
Lazara's going to push through the crowd and start cheering Indigo on.
Yeah. They... Give me 1 second. Okay, so as you're like, you break through the crowd and keep cheering her on loudly, she turns and looks at you, and you can see this big grin on her face, and then you see like that face catch like the heel of a foot, just bam in the cheek.
Like in slow motion.
Yeah, just like boof. You see like her skull shift and inside her head, and like the rest of her head move with it, and it's just like, it's such an impact that you hear like the clap of the impact, and you're like, oh.
The side's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, like,
Like, oops.
But you see her body like twist and look as though it's about to get like just floored by this knock.
Jesus.
But she pivots on the foot that's on the floor and then spins around and returns the kick in the same way back to the other monk, without losing her footing, as though it was all part of the same fluid motion. She spins around and just slams him in the side of the face. And that one, you notice, carries a lot of force. And that guy flips through the air and slams, like bouncing off the stone.
Fucking Street Fighter style.
And very nearly rolls over toward the fire. But he stopped like limp on the floor, unconscious from her hit. And then everybody like cheers, and she goes to like put up her hands, and then she stops herself, and then she places a fist in her palm of her other hand, and then bows respectfully to the person that she just beat. And a couple of other monks walk in and help the other person up and splash them with some water in the face and help recover like their consciousness.
I walk up to Lazara. I'm like, "Are you ready to go again?" She's thinking.
Really not sure.
You're like, I don't know. That last time was pretty heavy, but at the same time,
Lazara just kind of laughs and says, "I'm sure they're a little busy right now anyway."
Sweating.
Yeah.
Roll
a deception check.
No, I'm actually being serious. Lazara would do it if.
Yeah. Yeah. She. As that monk is being helped up, Indigo like goes to step off the platform across the little stone bridge, and everyone like gives her a pat on the back and tussles her hair and all that kind of stuff. Just the rowdy sort of townsfolk, they watch a fight, they're like, "Hey!" and they want to congratulate the winner. That's not typically how they do it here at the monastery. You can tell like they're quite respectful and it's all part of like the sparring and the training and all that, but not an actual fight. But yeah, you also can tell that like the people just wanted to see the girl win. They rooted for the underdog, who was like this tiefling girl who's fighting this very like sleekly designed human monk who looks like he could whoop anybody's ass if he feels like it. But yeah, she almost immediately after thanking everyone moves directly over to you guys, and embraces you all in like a big group hug. She basically throws herself into it as well. But she is remarkably light. Like you can tell like her body like is just 100% muscle mass at this point. Like she has not an ounce of fat on her. And she immediately is like, come with me, and heads like just leads you all practically by the hand up the stairs. And in doing so, you kind of get separated from Clovis and Griselda because they're, caught up in the crowd of people, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's you, hello."
Dennis just kind of waves as she walks away,
and he waves and gives a nod of the head. You guys are all receiving quite a welcome as well, just because everyone knows who you are now. So over the course of everything that's happened in this city over the last recent events. So you head up to the main platform up top, and you see some people. The monk, the head of the monastery, the guy with the beard, he's there. And you can see he has two other monks, like one on either side, like one of those aerobics class videos. And they're doing these motions like together, like this exercise of like just fluidity and muscle movement.
Taibo.
Yeah, and they have like a little class of all the like Vaskyrian citizens.
Oh my god!
And they're all trying to copy them and mimic them, and they're all off balance, and it's really awkward. And
you tried with a gold star.
They're putting in effort, and you can see that it's just kind of like a class that they're doing to like pass the time, and still get the monks get their training exercise in, so that's nice. But everyone else has a good time as well. They have the fire pit going, and you can see that off to the right by all those little houses, there's a whole bunch of little tents set up and campfires and sleeping bags and stuff that are all set up for people to rest at, because they have the entire city here at the monastery, and it's very cramped and crowded.
It's a big city too.
It's a big fucking city. So they have people staying there. You can also hear a lot of noise coming from the bathhouse. Every time the door to that place opens, you hear just this wave of like sound and people laughing and talking, and then the door closes and it's silent.
The people trying to relax in there are going to be so pissed.
Yeah, people are coming up out of there and like up the stairs, and they're still wearing like a towel over their head and like wearing their monk robes that are nice and comfy and cozy cotton, and heading over toward their bags and stuff. And they are really treating this as like a resort. Like this is like a spa inclusive.
And the monks are all like,
it really sounds like it. If anyone here has been like to a big resort like at the beach, that's exactly what they're like.
Oh yeah.
You fully expect, like, part of you expects to see these people with their towels and their nice comfy clothes go and like get a massage.
Drinking a daiquiri.
Drinking a daiquiri and like getting a massage from one of the
pina
monks.
colada.
Yeah. But the monks also seem to be doing their training. You can see that through the main entrance to like the big building at the top there, the main structure of the monastery, there is something of a more theory-based class going on. Monks taking down notes and scripture and writings and stuff and learning moral lessons. There's a couple of the elder monks sort of teaching that class, and the younger in-training monks in there. And people are kind of like, you can see that around the door people are gathered and like peering in, but you can see that they've also been denied entry because the monks also need to get their proper training in. And it's, please show respect to the monks because they are still learning and they need to get their learning done. Otherwise, no supper for them.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. At the moment, it is roughly mid-afternoon. You guys were traveling for quite some time through the tunnels. And everyone seems to be having a nice day, winding down, relaxing. And you find down the stairs going to the south, down toward the big fire pit where they had the big meal cook-up. You can see Tuazar there sitting beside Merton, and just kind of like an arm around him, like almost completely engulfing him. And they're just talking and she's chatting and sort of giving this like big story of like this big hunt she went on recently, quote unquote.
I love them.
Where she encountered a rather large creature that was quite fearsome, and then another creature came to fight it. She's been very careful about the words she's picked. And you can see that, like, Merton's wearing one of these monk like outfits, nice and comfy, cozy cotton. Tuazar is also wearing one, but it's too small for her. So it's kind of like, it's almost like shorts and like a crop top that's quite tight.
Oh my god.
And she's like, she looks as though like if she flexed, the entire thing would tear to like tatters.
Oh my god. I love this.
She's asking way too much of these clothes. But she's fine with it. She likes it. She likes the style. Exposing the midriff and all the muscles. And she's like, I can show off to these monks. These guys are kind of puny, like they got muscle, but oof, you know. But yeah, she's sitting there, sort of engulfing Merton with one of her arms in a hug that she's keeping it like close to her chest and like talking about this big thing, and he's just like mushed up against her, like you take note of a few other individuals around. You notice what was his name again? Gerbus. Gerbus is there as well. Also in the monk sort of clothing. And he appears to be like, he's watching one of the other monks that's sitting there, and he's the monk is like taking down like his sort of calligraphy style notes in a scroll. He's like doing his practice for like a, you know, he's basically writing down like the monk script for like in a piece or some shit like that. And Gerbus has like his own scroll, and he's sitting there cross-legged, and he's like trying to copy him. His hand's a bit shaky, and he's not quite using like the full fluid motions that they're supposed to use. That's meant to like keep your body fluid and calm. He's trying to do it his same sort of strict to the letter kind of way that he does things. You can see a bit of Simon in him. But you can see that he's also like, he's a bit distracted. Like he keeps like looking up from what he's doing, not only at the monk, but up to the door to the spa area, like the baths. And every time that door opens, he kind of like looks up to see who's there, and it's just like some random. So he just goes back. Yep,
yeah, can I roll insight too?
You're right on ahead.
Hang on.
I was gonna ask if I get advantage, but nah. Probably not because of the oh no.
So 2020. You all can tell pretty well that he's, every time he looks up, he's expecting Aziz to come out of that door after having just been in the bars and all that kind of stuff.
So it was that obvious.
But you also notice, those of you who rolled above a 15, so Jeffrey and Diana, you feel like he's a bit behind the monk that's doing his work, so you kind of feel like he's kind of holding off and waiting for when she comes out to be like, oh, look at me go, you know, like, look at the thing that I've done, you know, kind of trying to do a bit of showing off. So he's kind of dragging it out longer than it has to be. You can see like he keeps like trying to copy what the monk's doing, and you notice the monk also like he keeps like glancing over at what Gervis is doing, so the monk has slowed down a little bit to sort of help him catch up and see what he's doing and understand why. Nice and wholesome. A lot of wholesome activity going on. Who else do we notice? You see two other tieflings there. And you know these to be the ones from the Star Shadow Order Guild, and the one from the
the ones that don't
Hunter's Cove. Yeah, he's the merchant, the two merchants for the guilds, Garmaros and Scaros, and they are sitting opposite ends of the fire, as far away from each other as possible, and just occasionally sharing glances at each other. But not friendly glances, rather I wish you would die kind of glances.
Good that understands this feeling quite well.
Basically, they're competitors.
Roll an insight check, Gunther. I'll let you do it because you're the one who's dealt with the merchant. Yeah. You know
my God.
quite well. You know everything. You know the secrets of the world. But you know
42.
that you can glean from the way that Garmaros is looking at Skaros. It's more of a full of himself kind of scoff kind of look. And the way that Skaros is looking at Garmaros is a really hateful, despising glare. So odds are Garmaros did something to Skaros, or he did something that negatively impacted Skaros in such a way, and it's really pissed Skaros off, but Garmaros benefited from it quite a bit. So they have some history. Something's gone down. And
I might inquire about that later.
Okay.
What's their names again? How do I write those?
Let me copy them down for you real quick. I'll post them here in the thing. We have that one. And that one.
Thank you.
Yep.
I just asked because I'm curious about what happened.
Yes. Nate is there, and she is sitting next to Eris.
Of course, they're hanging out.
And the two of them appear to have come right out of the baths. And they have like their cloth on, and they're just kind of sitting there. Simone's heading over to them now, but you can see them sitting there, relaxing like over some cushions and that kind of stuff. And they have like their hands out, like getting like a manicure from the monks. And each of them has a monk on either side of them, just sitting there listening to them talk and like nodding and smiling and that kind of stuff, and like doing their nails.
Has
and,
there
like,
been magic involved in this?
Roll a Arcana check.
Oh no!
Odds are there's no magic involved other than the magic of Eris's persuasive ability and her charm. Like she and Nate are sitting there getting like a full spa treatment, and they're just talking to the monks and chatting about things and learning about their way of life and admiring their comfy clothing and all that kind of stuff, and just talking with them like, oh dear, you really need to update the color of the robes and the the decorations of the monastery. And they just sort of smile and nod like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god.
But yeah, everyone's kind of like enjoying their time quite a bit at the monastery. You do see with your passive perception that there are some monks watching kind of from like the bridge that leads over to the baths. There are some monks watching down at the lower level there, where there are some Arrow Rock Hunters Co. guild members who have set up in the trees, like off to the south, like some targets. And they're kind of training and practicing firing their bows and their short stuff at the targets, and doing their practice. They have one that's swaying in the wind, and they have to try and hit that. And the monks are sort of watching and being like, "Oh, okay."
They may inquire about that later.
Yeah. And just kind of learning. So the people are learning from the monks, and the monks are learning from the people, and there's kind of a nice symbiosis going on between everybody.
That's cool.
The Arrow Rock Hunters Co., like the group that are doing their practice with the bow and arrow, that's where you see the half-elf that helped you and Marlith. That's Huragar and Marlith. They're down there as well. Destin the Fletcher, he's there, as well as Old Tav as well. Old Tav isn't participating. He's just kind of sitting by the wayside and fletching arrows, and he's showing a couple of the younger monks like how he fletches his arrows and how he like carves the shafts of them and attaches the arrowheads and how he does the feathers at the bottom and why he does the feathers at the bottom the way he does. And you can see him kind of going on at the moment. He's going on about how, oh, those young folks, they do the feathers wrong and it's stupid. And it doesn't work.
Kids these days.
2 feathers on either side, not 3. It's foolish to use 3. And like you can see him kind of getting carried away, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a big deal. But they don't understand that it's really not a big deal. But yeah, there's kind of just this big community going on that's quite nice. And you can hear still every time the door opens to the baths, there's a ruckus going on in there, and people like you actually catch like as the door opens and closes, as like one of the other like half elves is coming out, sort of like squeezing out her hair as she walks by. You see like as the door is opening and closing, like you can see someone like whip someone in the ass with a towel.
It's like fucking high school in there.
Yeah, and there's just kind of like a yelp going on, and you can see everyone in there is like laughing and splashing around, having a good time. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely outrageous.
I feel so bad for the monks when everyone leaves. It's like probably like a high school, like a college frat party in there, and there's like
there's like red cups.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Condoms in weird
They're
places.
just all like, this is like fucking tourists.
Fuck. So where's Indigo taking us to?
Indigo is just kind of like taking you around, like showing you where everyone is, and doing that whole thing. And then she stops by like the fire pit there, and she's like, "So, how are all of you?"
All things considered, pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty great. Doing fantastic today.
And she says, I haven't really had a chance to chat with everyone about why they're here. No one's really explained that to me. But if it was all of your doing, and she kind of like leads in, she's like, thank you for bringing all the city folks down here. There are some boys that have been rather nice.
Some cute boys.
Lazara smiles and pats her on the head.
Yeah. She kind of like gives you a little jab in the side, and like it was a playful jab, but like boof,
Rolling a character.
Yeah, part of you like, I'm not sure if that was playful or not, but then like you can see the expression on her face and you can tell that it was sort of a playful jab, but like, oof, man. That felt like a don't touch me, boom, kind of force, But you can see she put very little effort into it.
Diana explains that there was a pretty large thing they had to deal with, and it was better to just the townsfolk out of the way.
She smiles and nods, and she's like, well, I can't wait to hear about that. Actually. The boys that she seems to be referring to you as she like mentions them, she kind of like looks over her shoulder for like a fraction of a second, and you look past her to like the windows of like the bathhouse, and you can see a couple of guys kind of like looking out the window at like who she's talking to, and you can see them eyeing Gunther a bit. It ain't me, man.
I prefer big buff woman.
I ain't in it, dude. I ain't in it. But the she explains like the elder monks have given me a rule that I'm not to be in the baths at the same time as the boys.
This sounds like a stealth mission.
What does Simone say to that?
You can like Simone's sitting like beside Eris, but they're like right next to you guys, and Simone is just like, yeah, fair enough. Like that's a rule that he is happy to impose upon a young lady. A rule that he would have Diana follow as well.
Lazara just kind of passes her on the back and says, "I'll give you a few pointers later."
Good lord.
She has like a rather mischievous grin, like stretch across her face, and you guys notice like a couple of the monks that are tending to Eris and Nate kind of like look up, and they're kind of like. Like,
all that hard
you
work.
Kind of get like you probably shouldn't do that kind of vibe. And yeah,
we can't return her to her parents pregnant.
Surprise package.
But yeah, that's what's going on.
Fuck.
What would you guys like to do?